Australia talks, and there's some concerning things. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because we're going to have a talk about the Australian Talks survey from the ABC. Now, sorry about the sound quality. I'm using my lapel microphone. I'm in the process of building a new computer, and frankly, I'm going to have to retire, I think, the old Rode microphone. It may be time to get a new one. Now, there is this survey that the ABC are doing right now. It's an Australia Talks survey. You can go onto their website and answer a whole series of questions to see how you compare to other Australians. The really good one is how many times you're getting it on. It's kind of sad, some people's answers. Hopefully those people aren't all married that are not getting it on enough. But that's not that's the fun question, but that's not the one that I wanted to draw everyone's attention to, and the one that frankly is a little concerning, particularly as someone who wants to advocate for more individual freedom, more individual liberty, responsibility, and agency. Perhaps this is why so many people defer to authority figures to tell them how to think, to tell them what to believe, to bail them out when they've made stupid mistakes. We're seeing that again and again and again in our cultures. Calls for authority, obedience. Where's the individual drive or determination? And this is the one answer that really got me. You don't think we need to restrict people's freedoms to keep Australia safe, but only 1 in 5 Aussies are with you. There was a question here. Sometimes people's freedoms need to be restricted to keep Australia safe. So I strongly disagreed. So disagree strongly somewhat. And you can see here. So those of us that disagree, they're 31% last year in 2019, and it's now gone down 10% to 21%. Neutral has gone down to 9%, down 4%. Now those who agree and who strongly agree has gone up to 70% of Australians. 70%. It's gone up 16 points. 9% have increased for strongly agree, the biggest change of all of the data. 6% somewhat agree. Only 4% less neutral, 7% somewhat disagree, and 3% less strongly disagree. What can we take from this? This is why people are writing in the comments, oh, when are people going to say no? When are people going to stop? When's there going to be an uproar? Look at it, everyone. This is Australians. I don't know how many people are taking part in this survey, but I guarantee it would be a lot. And it's something of concern coming from, well, how can there be any chance to even push away from authoritarianism, push away from the creeping socialism that we're seeing here in Australia? Even the don't know people have decreased. Everything's decreased. The neutral disagree and don't know, and more people want to restrict freedoms. Sometimes people's freedoms need to be restricted to keep Australia safe. Where have we heard that language in the past? Where's the danger of such things? Let's see what else we have here. 9% say their sense of priorities has worsened since the pandemic. We have a look here. It's much worse. For men has increased, somewhat worse for women and men. Neither better nor worse, 39% and 48%. Somewhat better, most people. So this is good. This is a good take. So this is where I've discussed it in the past, where people have just gotten off the treadmill for the first time, and maybe they're seeing what's really important in life. Gyms closed. It hasn't affected 44% of us who say we're just as healthy. Well, here's the funny thing. If you look at Victoria, brothels are open. You can't have family gatherings at home. You can't have friends over. The gyms are closed. You can go and shoot up in a drug shoot needle room in Victoria. Can't go to church. Bottle shops open. What's the priorities in Victoria, everyone? What does that tell you about that state? 57% of people say their mental health hasn't changed, which is a good sign. So a lot of people, their mental health hasn't changed, but you can see, look at who's gotten worse. The 18 to 24-year-olds, the young people. 52% it's gotten worse. 44% of 25 to 29-year-olds. 30 to 39, 38%. 40 to 49, 34% has gotten worse. So there's a big chunk of Aussies, particularly the young ones. So the people here who are most at risk during this pandemic, they've had the least impact, mental health-wise. But it's the young ones that have suffered a huge amount of economic impact. So I feel anxious less often than 93% of people. And, what did I put? Well, never. So never has stayed the same. Occasional has gone down, but frequent has shot up. We can see there, 4% up, so more people are anxious. The pandemic has brought you and 1 in 3 people a better relationship with your loved ones. Somewhat better. I said that because, we're creating new loved ones. New ones are appearing. Like you, most people say their friendships are made the same as before the pandemic. It really hasn't changed much. For some people it has. So what keeps me up at night? Nearly 2/3 of men say they're not regularly having money trouble, and you're one of them. So notice this. 2/3 of men say they don't have money troubles. That's fantastic. That's good news. But, and here's the question. I often have difficulty making ends meet. Strongly disagree. 36% of men, 33% of women. And somewhat agree is 20% of, somewhat agree is 20% of women and 16% of men, and 11% of women and 7% of men. So that's not too bad. It could be worse. 4 in 5 people say we have a problem with the wealth gap. And I'm kind of neutral to that. Honestly. There is a wealth gap. It's growing. I think we just need to realize it's something that exists here in Australia. The gap in wealth between rich and poor Australians is too big. So what's this? Is this money that they're earning? I don't understand that. I don't remember seeing amounts here. Anyway, like nearly 1 in 3 men, you don't think sexual assault claims are almost always true. Well, there's evidence out there of false claims. We know that. The whole hashtag believe all women, that's without evidence, you don't believe anyone. Okay? You're among 1 in 3 men who say men and women share a level playing field. So, men and women are treated equally in Australia. Now look at the difference here of those strongly that disagree with this statement. 34% of women who answered this survey think men and women are not treated fairly. Somewhat disagree is 47% of women. Well, look at how many who agree. 4%. Somewhat agree is 10%. Look at this. I blame the media on this. It's definitely the media. About 1 in 2 Australians say they're confident they'll have enough money to retire. So there's definitely a lot of interesting insights here. You think hard work makes all the difference, along with 63% of people your age. So here we go. In Australia, if you work hard, you can be successful no matter what circumstances you were born into. That seems like a reasonable argument, doesn't it? So strongly disagree. So that's gone up from 6%. Somewhat disagree has gone up. Still, most people agree. Well, it's gone down, but most people agree or strongly agree, which is good. But there's a bit of a shift there. Maybe people don't see it. Like 94% of Australians, you think lying politicians should resign. You don't think Australia needs a corruption watchdog, but only 3% of Australians agree with you. Well, look at it. We saw only 20% of Australians don't want to restrict people's freedoms. Like 23% of Australians, you don't think we should enshrine an indigenous voice to Parliament in the Constitution. Now, see, this is the issue. Calling for this bloody thing. And how do they know? I didn't tell them who I voted for, so I don't know where I'm in this. But anyway, the issue is here. is that they already have. Here's the thing. Indigenous Australians already have their own representative to Parliament, their own Indigenous voice. It's the same lying politicians that we have, because they're Australians. Okay? We don't need another level of government. The only politician, you see here they're talking about one nation, the only politician when a bunch of Aboriginal women went all the way to Parliament asking for help, which politician do you think went out to see them? Who do you think? I'm going to have a shot of coffee and I'll turn off the mic so you don't hear me drinking it this time. Let me know. It was one nation. It was Pauline. The only one. Funny that, hey? Didn't get much news. I consider misinformation a problem for Australians, so do 94% of the rest of us. Yeah, which I thought this is ironic being asked by the ABC, considering how left-leaning they are and biased they are even in the questions in this bloody survey. So those were just some of the questions that I wanted to highlight for you. And I suggest you have a look at this survey because, well, frankly, there's some concerning results. What do you reckon? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.